Hey Bookworms, Jenna here. We're going to do our weekly whimsy, and I have the pickled limes from the book Little Women here, where Amy gets her hands blistered from the limes. So I decided, or from having them in her desk, right? So I decided I'm going to use my paint markers. I got these off Amazon last year sometime. They're pretty inexpensive. If you don't have paint markers, no big deal. Use colored pencils or watercolor or acrylic, whatever you feel comfortable using. But I like to change it up, and I hope you all do too. If you're like me, I'm sure you have a lot of art supplies. So I'm just going to pull out a few colors that I know I'm going to use. I haven't played with these a whole lot except for like touching up like other projects. I don't think I've done an entire picture with them yet, so I'm sort of excited to do that. So I'm going to pull out a bunch of greens mainly, since we're doing limes here, right? So I'll pull out all my colors of green, and then I'm going to pull out my 2 yellows, and then we'll just go from there. And the cool thing about these, like I said, they're super inexpensive, but they have the 2 different colors. I prefer the brush side versus the fine side for mostly because it seems to flow a lot better for me on the brush side. So I'm going to pull out the brush tip there, and I'm going to go ahead and just give it a real good coat of this lime green to start off with. And then we'll sort of layer from there. And you can see I've already got my tracer on there. It's the nice thing about using this heavy-duty watercolor paper is that it can pretty much handle whatever medium we throw at it. Alright, so there is the first color, and then I'm going to do the outer lime this color, the rind here. So I'm just going to get all my base colors on, and then I'll add the detail. And then I want to do, let me think. I'm going to do the yellow color for the inside here. Weird that I'll have to fix that up. It sort of is bleeding the pencil a little. Okay. And then I'm going to do the, I don't know, 4th or the 2nd from the darkest green for my leaves. I'm not going to see much of my detail, but that's okay. I'll get it back in. Okay. Cool. I'm probably going to pull my white out too. I think I'm going to need that. What is this? 19. Got a weird color here. I'm trying to see what it is. Oh, it says it's a light green. Ooh, that's interesting. I don't think I've played with this color. Okay. Ooh, that's neat. It's almost like a white. Cover up some of these pencil marks with that. My son is being crazy. I wonder if you guys can hear him on the video. So if you didn't know, I homeschool. So my kiddos are always running around here being crazy. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to grab my light yellow again. I'm going to touch up some of these areas in here. Hopefully cover up some of this pencil that I feel like is poking through. Oh yeah, that looks cool. Okay. Alright, so then for our lime, we want this part down here to be darker. I'm not sure how well these will blend, so we're going to see. So I'm going to go to my second darker. Color there. Let's see. I'm interested to see if I grab my lighter color. Yeah, I guess that works. I don't know. Like I said, I am practicing. That's what I love about these little mini paintings, is that we sort of just get to try different things. Darker cut there. I don't know how I feel about it. Whoops, other side is what I want. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's working good. I'm like having trouble seeing the vision here. You know what? This is supposed to be like a water base. So let me grab, I've got some water here with a brush in it. Let's see what happens. Ooh, yeah, there we go. That's what we needed. I gotta blend with my water, I guess. I can't do it. All right, so then now I'm gonna grab my yellow, my deeper yellow, and add some highlight up here. And then I'm gonna grab my brush again and blend some of that color, hopefully. Very cool. All right, I like it now that I can blend it with the brush. Just can't get me away from the brush, I guess. There we go. Ooh, that looks cool. Okay. Let that dry a little bit, and then I'm gonna add some more of this weird light color, light green color into here. Doesn't really look green to me, but it does look neat. Okay. And then this is the lighter yellow. I'm gonna take this darker yellow and go around the edges of this here. picked up a little bit of the green, but I like that. I feel like that looks cool. All right. So far, so good. I'm going to grab my lighter yellow again and blend that into that darker yellow. And then I do have a paper towel over here. I'm just sort of taking, when I mix the colors, off the tip of my pen there, so it's not quite, so it doesn't destroy the paint color there. Okay, and then I'm gonna grab my mid-tone, one of my mid-tone greens here, and darken up this here. And then grab my brush and get some water. Blend those two. Look how vibrant that is. That's pretty. You get like the control of the pen and then you just use the water to blend. That's fun. I like it. All right. Okay, so now my my leaves. I'm going to work on those. And I want to do the darkest. I haven't used this darkest green yet. And I'm going to use the fine tip and see how that works. So I'm going to go up and over. I can see my lines a little. Okay. And then I'm going to use this light green again and get some highlight on there. Use my wet brush just to blend. I don't want to blend too much with this. I just want to take some of those bright spots off. Okay, I like that. And then I want to add the little bump on the line here. So I'm going to use this one here. Let's see. And this light color here. My brush again. It's not really looking the way I'm wanting it to look. Let's see. Okay, that's better. I'm liking that better. I'm going to deepen up this spot right in here. I still feel like I needed to darken that, so I used the really dark color. There we go. That's a little closer to what I was wanting. There we go. Okay, I'm going to be happy with that, I think. And then, let's see, I think I do want to deepen up a little bit more down here at the bottom. Right along this area right in there. Grab my brush, a little water. There we go. Pretty happy with that, I think. I feel like I need to deepen up right along the line out here too a little. Let's do that. There we go. All right. Somehow got paint out in here. Okay, and then last thing I want to do, I'm going to add, let's see how this works. I'm going to add this peachy color around my lines. I think it'll be, definitely doesn't look very, what's it, 19th century? Am I getting that right? Looks definitely more modern, like citrus artwork, but that's okay. Mid-century-ish with the colors, I feel like. Maybe 60s, I don't know. I'm running all my time periods together. Okay. The peach is definitely not Civil War time. At least I don't feel like it is. This definitely looks sort of retro. Funny how this was like a fad for the kids, and how even back then they had a thing that they had to have, like that they had to trade at school, you know, like when I was a kid it was pogs. If you don't know what the pogs are, it's like the cardboard like discs with like what we called a slammer, which was metal, and we usually played for keeps. So if you won somebody's pogs, you got to keep them if you flipped them over. But anyway, you kept them in your desk, and you traded them, and you bartered for them, and you played for them. And then I'm trying to think. Like when my siblings were younger, it was Pokemon. They had the Pokemon cards that they traded for and played with, and and then I'm trying to think of what else of types of things. You guys let me know what types of things you guys had to trade for, or that, you know, everybody had to have in school. I'm trying to think what my kids, there's something my kids had to have. Let me think. Oh, the squishies. That was a big thing a couple years ago. I don't know if it still is. They all had those little squishy animal things that they would carry around and trade, and the teachers would give out as like prizes, and this little squishy animals, little squishy rubber animals. That was a big thing. I also remember when I was a kid that a big deal was the scented markers and pencils and stuff. That was a huge deal when I was in school. So there's always something. Well, this one's not blending. What in the world? Well, that's a bummer. Why is that not blending? Oh, there we go. Sort of. Let's try it again. Not really. Not really. Huh. Well, that's weird how some of the colors blend so easy. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to wet the area around. And then I'm going to go back with my marker. I like that. This marker was sort of acting like it was dried out, and I have not used it, but you know, you get what you pay for type of thing. Paid like very little for this on Amazon for this marker set, so. There we go, though. I like that. Okay. Ooh, look at those colors. That's fun. That's a fun combo. All right. Well, I'm excited to see your all's pickled limes. So I was reading about pickled limes. That was like a thing that came from the Indies, I think. West Indies, like during the trade. And they were like a big reason why things... Oh, that's weird. What did I do there? They're a big reason... Oh, I've got green on my finger. So they were a big reason that people... like in Europe started pickling things, because a lot of the pickling things came in like seawater or like some type of brine. Obviously this was like past that time, but that's where the original pickling type things came from. And then of course citrus was not something that was easily grown, at least up northern United States. So citrus was a big deal back then during Christmas, and, you know, to show status. And so that's why the kids were collecting it, to show how they were doing. But anyway, little history tidbits. I am excited to see your guys' limes. I love seeing your weekly whimsies, and I look forward to chatting with you guys in the group. I'll see you soon.